And you three up here in the front, you guys want to ask questions? Mel, you're going to ask some. I'll make some. All right. Are we rolling? All right, we got the 83 kilo M3 national champion Larry Nash and his coach Sam Calhoun. How's it going, Larry? Come on up and talk into the mic and tell us how your day went. It was kind of a surprise victory until the last pull, huh?
I'm not going to say surprise. I will say that bench and squat did not go like I wanted them to go. But in doing research, I thought that things would turn out the way they did. I would have an opportunity. Now, again, I'm not going to say I thought I was going to win, but I would say I would make it close if I could hang in there and make him pull for the win. And my coach put the numbers on the bar. We picked it up, put it down, and I'm very, very pleased with the way things went today.
Yeah, I bet. And Sam, go ahead and walk us through the day, how it went, how it unfolded for Larry.
Well, we came in with a very thorough game plan. We knew exactly what we needed to hit to be in range. And unfortunately, we didn't get to those numbers for squat and bench. However, we took what was there, and fortunately, our best was good enough for the day. However, our game plan kind of went out the window for the first squat. So we got red light on the first squat for depth, and that just kind of destroyed our entire game plan. But his confidence never wavered. His head was still in the game. He still knew the goal, and we just executed brick by brick, you know.
So, Larry, how'd you stay in the game mentally? You're going up against a world champion, Willie Wong. He's a great lifter. Things weren't necessarily going your way on a couple of lifts. And so, was Coach helping you, or were you just how'd you stay in the game mentally?
The team motto, don't be weak. And that's not a physical thing, it's a mental thing. And so what I had to do is make sure that I did what was necessary to not get depressed or not get angry or too angry with myself. But, we just hung in there mentally, and things worked out for us.
Yeah, we've been fighting adversity. This is not our first time. We've been fighting adversity for a few years now, so this is not the first time we had to experience this, so we just kept our hand in the game, took each lift one lift at a time. Right. Put whatever was on the board that we thought was there for each lift. We didn't think ahead. We literally just took it lift by lift, and we waited for the third deadlift to figure out what we needed to come out on top.
Right.
All right, Mel.
Congrats, teammate.
Thank you, ma'am.
Great job today.
Appreciate it.
What was the biggest challenge for you today?
Not getting overly excited when that first squat was red lighted. Look, I don't mind one red light, but when I saw two, but then again, in training, what I did notice was that there might have been a shift. And so what I had to do is, again, not let it worry me, but just sit on it. That's what I call sit on it. And once I sat out at the second lift was all right, I knew I would do the same thing for the third. The only thing I was disappointed in, to be honest with you, I wanted about 10 more kilos out of my squat, but not getting the first one, it derailed it a little bit. So that would have made things actually a lot easier. Mm-hmm. But again, we're not going to complain. We're not going to complain.
We was expecting one red light. We kind of came into it because he has one high hip. So we kind of was like, all right, we get 2 to 1.
Right.
It's no big deal. We know why. Right. So if we would have seen that, it was like, okay, dap it up. Let's go. But to see the head judge also give us a red
twice
when the two side judges gave whites, it was demoralizing. But we still knew the game plan. Yeah.
Coach, what was your biggest challenge for today?
This man's a rock star. We've been preparing for this, like I said, 4 or 5 years now, and he's mentally tough, and he's a fighter. He don't quit, and he was gonna fight until the last pull. So, and it's different than having a lifter that you gotta keep up. I never had to keep him up. I never had to come over there and even talk to him. I never had to say we okay. Like, you feel good? Yeah, I feel good. And let's go to the next lift. So honestly, my day was easy. Honestly, the biggest part of my day that I regret is not realizing we had a bench record that I could have chipped. Because that chip could have saved us 5 pounds on that bar. Fortunately, we didn't need those 5 pounds because he had 5 more pounds
Yeah.
in him. But in hindsight, that's something that I would have regret. And I'm fortunate that he killed that last deadlift, that I don't have to go home crying for the next year, literally regretting that decision. But he made my day easy, so I'm so
awesome.
happy.
And for the folks that don't know, can we enlighten? I know this has been a long time coming, but can we give a little bit of story of Mr. Nash and why this day is so special? Which I know it is a special day.
In 2019 USAPL Nationals, I competed as an M2, 59-year-old M2. I came in 5th, but I qualified for 1st. I should have gone to World Championships in 2020. Enter COVID. So it broke my heart. And then I had some problems with my shoulder. And I thought I might have been done, to be honest with you. But we hung in there. Coach worked with me, had mercy on me. And we're here today. Awesome. And so, again, no complaints, no arguments.
Good.
I asked her to have June off. So I'm taking June off. And then we'll get back in the lab in July and start taking care of business.
Yep.
Sounds
Get ready
good.
to go to Mongolia.
Well, Larry, thank you so much. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Whoa. Well, you're going to get in the middle, Cole.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah. Do you have a couple questions? I know I do. Cole, congratulations on the gold medal. What's going through your mind? How are you feeling right now after you've had the dust settle for a little bit?
I'm extremely happy. That was a real dogfight there. Braden really made me work for that win, and he was a great competitor, and he really drove me to excellence.
What was going through your mind going into deadlifts, and what was kind of the strategies you had to keep the pace?
Going into deadlifts, we knew that he was a much better deadlifter than I am, and that I really needed to hit some big numbers. And, just our strategy was try and keep it within 2.5 kilo of him. And we managed to do that. He unfortunately missed his second attempt where I had made that. And my third attempt had luckily gave me the win.
So I see you're with Brown's Gym, and they're very well known in powerlifting America. Can you talk about your training a little bit going into this competition and what it's been like working with Brown's Gym?
Yeah, so training, we were really trying to do well this meet. These two are the best coaches around. They're also the best bosses around because I work for them.
So we pay him
Sign
to
his
say
paycheck.
that.
It shouldn't screw up what
Yeah.
it says here.
But they're some of the nicest people, and when you're in the room competing with them, you feel like you're the only one. They are the best coaches I could have.
You're gonna make me cry.
You guys want to say anything about your lifter?
I'm overjoyed with how he performed today.
Yeah.
I was going back and forth with the decision of making a change on that third attempt deadlift, and that was rough because I was pretty sure that Braden didn't have that last deadlift in him, but I didn't want to leave it in his hands to beat him. So I dropped the 2.5, and I was like, Cole, it's up to you to make this, and you performed. I'm so proud of you.
That was a weight you never touched before.
Yes.
Well done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on the victory, guys. Thank you for your time, and congrats again, Cole.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
job.
for making time, too, Coach. I know you guys got a couple people back
Yeah,
there.
we got 3 of them back there. Two
Holy
big platforms.
And I think we're in another dogfight this afternoon.
Yeah. Glasses what I need for this occasion.
John, congrats, as usual. This is amazing.
You're going to Mongolia with me, right? Yeah. Very good. All right. We'll see. No maybes. I'm looking at.
Thank you. I know it was tough. Thank you for giving the time, Coach. Appreciate it. Rich, congratulations. How are we feeling right now after we've had the dust settle? What's going through your mind?
What's going through my mind is how my back's going to feel on the plane on the red eye home tonight. I was fortunate to come away with a victory today. I had about 100 kilos on my nearest competitor, but unfortunately, I tweaked my back in training. So we, with a quick turnaround to NAPF, we decided to, bring everything down, not, push it to any extreme. So we brought the numbers down to stay within range of my competitor, and that was the plan, and that worked well up until the second squat where I tweaked it. I felt it again, and I had no idea what was going to happen. So,
what's the mentality of a lifter who knows he's injured, not performing maybe at 100% potential? What's going through your mind when you feel those nerves, and how do you overcome those fearful thoughts?
How do you overcome them? It's tough to overcome. It's not easy. It's not easy. I had lots of doubts, but having a good support system. I had Susie Gary in my corner, and her husband Matt, via text. Can give you the little inspiration to pull through and get the job done. And luckily, my dads were there today. Don't know how, but they were, and I was able to secure victory. So I'm fortunate.
So how did you find Susie and Matt, and what made you decide to start working with them?
I worked with Susie and Matt back in 2019 for the first time, and we just clicked. They're great, and I've worked with them. This is I think my fourth or fifth time working with them. So.
And what can you say about them in your experience working with Susie and Matt?
That they are really good at adjusting their personalities on game day to the lifter. They consider me a drama queen and a nervous wreck, so they know how to keep me in check.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank
you for the time, and congrats.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for doing that. I know. Thank you. Why don't you go ahead and sit down there? On your victory here today. What's going through your mind? How are you feeling now that you've had a second to breathe and reflect on it briefly?
I'm just thankful that we have the opportunity, lifters my age and younger, to compete nationally and internationally. So I'm very thankful to Powerlifting America and the IPF for giving us that opportunity.
What was going through your mind all throughout prep and then coming into today to make sure you had a successful day on the platform?
Well, during this prep and the one previous, I decided that I would sign up with the strength guys. I had been doing my own programming for a couple of years, and that worked well as far as the squat went, but my deadlift started to trail off a little bit. So I specifically wanted to get that back up there, and it had dropped below 500 at Worlds last year. And so progressively it's come up, and I think I had a little bit more in me today. So it went up to 501 last meet in March, and it was 508 today, and I think there was a little bit more. So I'm very thankful that they got that turned around, and it didn't really affect my squat too much, and my bench is held where it has been for the last 2 or 3 years. So yeah.
So you've been competing for quite a while. How has the sport changed in your time competing, and how has your training changed as you've aged up?
If I look back when I first started powerlifting, want that a little closer? Okay. When I first started powerlifting was 1978, and at that time, equipment was just coming into play, right? We had the first generation squat suits, and by the time I stopped lifting in 1984, the first generation bench shirts were coming into play. And I thought at the time that powerlifting was headed towards just push-pull. That was the trend. And when I looked at it again in 2013, I was surprised to see that it was still the full power. And there was some push-pull, but you could do full power, so I was encouraged about that. And I saw where the IPF started to, I think it was 2014, they started to include Masters 3 and 4 in the World Championships. So that got me excited, and I decided to start up again. I did just deadlift only in my first contest, and that got me hooked, and I've been training ever since.
And John, you're a legend in the game as an M4. You've pretty much accomplished everything that you can accomplish. What keeps you going? What's the next thing that you're looking to accomplish?
I would really like to have a third best lifter at Worlds in a row as an M4. Hopefully my shoulders will hold out for that. They've been holding out as far as bench press goes, but everything else it's just kind of a struggle. So hopefully that'll take place. I'll have the opportunity to do that, I hope.
One final question, and then we'll let you go. I know TSG is one of the premier teams in all of powerlifting. Who is your coach, and how has your experience been with the programming and the training under the strength guys?
Arian Kamisi is my coach, and I have a kind of a long history with Arian. I was living in Florida when I first started lifting, and it was another federation at the time. And Arian was very involved, as you know, in Florida powerlifting. He was my first coach at Worlds. I went to Worlds in 2015. That was Finland. And he was the assistant coach at the time. And so I've been in touch with him on and off all along, and I know that he's a quality coach and very smart as far as powerlifting goes.
John, you're a huge inspiration to everyone out there, and just thank you so much for coming over to Powerlifting America and for coming out and showing out on the platform today. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's an honor, brother.
It really is. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you. Fellas, ready? Let's go. Well, I'm a TSG as well. That's why I had to ask that question. And I live in Florida too, so. All right.
All right, you guys. Yep, thanks, John. Huh? Some questions for him? Okay. Go ahead. I'll intro. Rolling. All right. Carlos Hicks Jr., 83 kilo sub-junior national champion. Congratulations, and just tell us about your performance today, man.
Thank you. My performance today went a lot better than I initially planned. I definitely felt a little off on my second attempt of squat and ended up puking right seconds before, but still was able to come out with like a 20-pound PR and felt good on it too. And bench, I mean, I also hit 2 PRs on bench. I never hit 300 in meet before. And coming and on deadlift, this was my most second most confident lift, though I slipped up on my second attempt, had to fix it, and clutched up on the third for my win. And now I'm hoping that I'm able to get the best lifter award. I feel like I'm in a good position right now. I'm glad I did a lot better than I had initially planned, and I just felt like the Lord was walking with me today and saying my prayer before each and every lift. I gained confidence, and I feel like that's who strengthens me most. And yeah.
So I don't know if you knew how close it was during deadlifts, but you missed your second deadlift, and it looked like it wasn't at all on strength. It looked pretty easy, but the guy who was chasing you, he got pretty close after that. How were you feeling? Were you aware of that? How did that affect your strategy?
Yeah, I was aware of it, and I mean, it was just a mistake. I mean, that plays into. I came into this meet with no coach. I'm self-trained, so I'm back there by myself. And what happened on my second attempt is that I locked my knees and hyperextended and just ended up coming back down with it. So Jeff Douglas was a huge help to me this meet. He picked me up out of nowhere and guided me through my warm-ups. Susie was also a big help because I came in, this is my first ever nationals, biggest meet of my life, and they helped me a ton. And Jeff told me to just squeeze my quads on the last attempt because it's not a strength problem, it's just lockout thing. And I was able to fix it on the last attempt and finish off the win. It didn't really change my attempt selection because I knew that all I needed was that pull to be able to secure the win. So.
Carlos, I know you mentioned you had no coach. What is your thought process when it comes to approaching programming and especially prep to make sure you have the best performance on the platform?
It's definitely not the best. I jump from program to program, whatever I can find. And I just train at a commercial gym back at home. I'm from Mississippi, so we don't have any powerlifting gyms or anything like that. And I know a decent amount about training to where I know how to properly peak and I know how to go through training blocks. But, I mean, I'm kind of basically genuinely new to the game, so.
Yeah, so I think you're going to find a coach after this. People are going to be coming out of the woodwork to want to coach you for sure.
So.
Just tell us a little how you were feeling in between your first and second squat out there today.
Oh, man. So I have this really bad problem with my nerves. So, like, it's almost every meet I get this huge adrenaline rush. I get nauseous, and anything that I eat, drink, or digest just comes straight up right before the meet. Usually it happens before I even start, but this time it came a little late, seconds before my national record attempt.
Yeah.
And I was pretty surprised when I got it going out because my stomach was definitely not back to par after puking right before.
Yeah, that was crazy to do that and then come out and hit a national record, man.
Yeah.
So last question is just, what are you looking forward to next?
Next, I plan to stick with Powerlifting America. This meet, I had the most competitive meet I've ever had, hands down.
Yeah.
I've never had to go down to the wire like that on the last attempt and pull it out. So I really enjoy that. For next year, I plan to stay in the 83 kilogram, and next year I believe I'll try my best to go to Worlds. I think I'll be able to get by with it. So.
You say you want to go to Worlds next year?
Yeah, next year.
Why not this year?
This year, the cost is just too much. I wasn't expecting the price tag on it, so I was like, whoa.
Okay. Well, if we got some sponsors out there who want to sponsor him, let's get this guy to Worlds and get some gold medals for Team USA. Carlos, thank you so much, man. Thanks for coming, and congratulations again on your national championship.
Thank you.
Yep. Good job.
Dude, awesome. Hell, freaking ride. Holy cow.
All right. We got Marcus McFadden, 93 kilo sub-junior juggernaut, national champion. And congratulations, first of all, Marcus. And first of all, just take us through your performance today.
Ooh, okay, yeah. This one's a roller coaster. Let's see. So morning of, I weighed in. So 93 kilograms was the weight class. I moved up since high school nationals from 83 to 93. Weighed in at 84 kilograms, which I mean, there's some room for growth in my class, but especially throughout prep, I was always more towards the higher end. But just I had a bunch of other obligations that led to my weight dropping down unintentionally. So, I mean, my opener squat, you know, it all starts with the nerves, and I'm normally not a person that gets, you know, that has like the nerve to get to me. So I don't really know what happened there. So I'm just gonna really attribute it to just, you know, it was just lackluster depth. You know, I take full accountability for that happening. I mean, I saw Joy's Fitness in the warm-up room, and it threw me off. I got a little starstruck, so I didn't really know how to feel. But I mean, yeah. So we wound it up for the second, and on the third, we went for a number that should have been in my league, especially because of what I had hit during prep. But the thing is, what I had hit during prep, my body weight was probably like 5 kilograms higher than what I weighed in at, and I didn't really eat. I hydrated a lot, but I didn't really eat, and so that kind of affected my squat performance. And the body weight definitely affects my bench the most. So, you know, the numbers weren't as big as what I hit during prep, but I wasn't too upset about that, especially because bench has never really been my lift. I decided to not take my third because, you know, my second, we probably went a little too heavy with that, and there was just no point in just going up to fail a lift, especially if I can just save all that energy for deadlifts, which I did. And a benefit of my body weight is that it helps with my deadlift leverages extremely, so I really did well with my deadlifts. I feel like I could have squeezed out more, but, you know, I'll take what I have, and I took the national record there. So I'm pretty mixed about my performance, but I mean, I took what I need to take.
So, as you said, you weighed in pretty light. Do you plan to stay as a 93?
Yeah. It's definitely a plan, and one of the biggest factors was school, and just like the whole exam season and all the stress and lack of sleep that involved with that. But from here until like the next competition, you know, it's all going to be like school's going to be out, and I can really focus on my training and my nutrition to the greatest extent. So I definitely know that I'll be able to come to my next meet with a lot higher of a body weight, especially because I have a lot of room to grow.
Yeah, Marcus, you don't miss lifts usually, and today I think you probably made the fewest lifts you've probably ever made in a competition before. So just emotionally, mentally, you know, how did you deal with it? And then just, you know, like, how are you going to get this bad taste out of your mouth?
Well, first of all, I mean, I do miss lifts. Everyone misses lifts. It's a product of progression, but I don't really sweat the small stuff. And I see it like this, you know, if the product that I'm creating, you know, that being like my powerlifting performance, if I judge my powerlifting performance based on just like my worst days, like this being probably one of them, if I judge them by my worst days, then I'm just probably going to be a sour human being for the rest of my life. You know, obviously I know that I can do better, and that's, you know, where my mind is at. It's looking to the fact that, you know, improvement can be made, and I'm not really thinking too hard about the fact that the performance, you know, wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Overall, I'm not really too worried about it, especially because I have a lot of room to grow.
Yeah. You took the national record in the deadlift. Coming in, were you thinking you were going to take all 3 national records? All 4?
I had a feeling that I was going to take the national squat record, but I mean, that happened. Deadlift or bench, I didn't think that coming in. I mean, I was really happy with my bench progress. You know, I hit like 10 pounds or 10 kilograms like above what I hit in high school nationals. But, you know, it's still like probably not nearly enough. But deadlift, yeah, I knew that I was going to hit the national record for deadlift.
Yeah. All right, and you just mentioned, you won high school nationals, you won here sub-junior nationals, you're the double champ now, and so what's next on the horizon for Marcus?
What's next is Worlds. That's definitely on the plate. Biggest thing, though, is about the sub-junior 93s at Worlds is there are titans.
Yeah.
And I am definitely, 110% confident that I will not be taking any gold from Worlds, but to be able to have the Worlds experience and to maybe even step on the platform against all the people that, I think that are incredible lifters from across the sea, that's really on the plan for me.
All right, and we just heard from Carlos that he might not be going to Worlds, so any thought of trying to cut back down and beat one more ride at 83?
It is possible, especially if my body weight is in a good position. It's definitely in a good range, but ultimately, I think that at my age, I'm not too worried about titles. I'm just here to, lift for a long time and not get hurt, and ultimately just to improve myself. And the biggest thing is, in terms of food, I'm not a very disciplined person, so to have to cut into the 83 class would definitely not make me happy. But if it's the best option to perform better and to perhaps even bring a title, it's always an option.
All right, cool. All right, Marcus, we're super excited to see what you do in the future and looking forward to your longevity in the sport. Congratulations again on your 2 national championships this year, man.
Thanks, man. And, I just want to shout out, the whole Powerlifting America media team. They really, to be able to create something like this, phenomenal job, everyone. People don't get enough credit. All the people that are doing all the stuff backstage, you don't see that kind of stuff. You only see the lifters, really, all the refs, all the volunteers that all put this stuff together, all the people running the booths. I want to give them a big thank you to be able to put on something like this because, this is not like, a little backyard, cornhole game. This is a big thing. So I just want to thank all you guys for doing that, and I'm super happy to be part of this Fed.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Best one yet. Best one yet, dude.